we're trying to authentically convey the gutsiness of these women. It's only fair when they ask us something hard about the toughest decision I made to stay in my marriage, that we be as honest as we can be, because that's what we want.
I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper, and I'm here with Secretary Hillary Clinton and Chelsea Clinton to talk about their new Apple TV Plus series, Gutsy. In this 8-part docuseries, you guys interview everyone from a female firefighter to Gloria Steinem. Secretary Clinton, how do you define Gutsy, and which guest surprised you the most?
Well, we view Gutsy as those core values that people need to have: resilience, determination, persistence, courage, to get through life, to get up when you're knocked down, to deal with the setbacks and disappointments of any life. One of the most surprising is the woman we went canoeing with in Georgia, who was a white supremacist, because she left that movement of hate and discrimination to try to live a different life, and she's now trying to reprogram others to help them get beyond all of that. But more than that, we're looking for women who are gutsy, not just on behalf of themselves, but on behalf of others. We had two-way conversations with the women we were interviewing, but we kind of want a two-way conversation with people watching it, and we hope it sparks a lot of conversations in families and in groups of friends and everybody else.
Secretary Clinton, speaking of that give and take, you interview a reverend in the Rebel Hearts episode where you open up about one of the gutsiest decisions you've had to make in your life, which was the decision to stay in your marriage.
You have a marriage that has been on public display since the beginning. You said the gutsiest thing you ever did was stay in your marriage. That doesn't mean that's right for everybody.
Why did you want to open up about that and share how personal that decision was for you?
Because I felt like in the series, we were asking very personal questions of the women that were being highlighted. We didn't have any script, nothing was off limits. And when she asked me that question, I felt like I had to be as open about my own life as she had been and others had been. There's so many divisions in our country right now, Brittany, and people are not talking or listening. And I'm hoping that this series maybe can spark some real soul searching on the part of people.
Chelsea, I know in the first episode, you reveal your strained relationship with comedy after years of jokes being made at your expense, especially around things like your hair and your appearance. How did those jokes impact your self-identity, and how does it feel for you to get to speak up about that now?
I think thankfully, because there was so much and it came from people who were on the right or people you might think were on the left, and it came from talk show hosts and people who were professional comedians, it helped me realize this was not about me. And also, how just weird is it that adults are making fun of a kid, right? It's just weird. And I know that we disagree about so much in this country, but I hope that we can agree that you shouldn't make fun of children, right? And so thankfully, this episode really taught me a lot, because for so long I had thought, comedy isn't really funny. I would think, it's probably mean-spirited. And this was really illuminating for me. And I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about comedy, and I have a completely new appreciation. And I now thankfully have some favorite comics.
I love that. That's progress. But I also think you're forcing a lot of us to look at what we think is funny and to imagine who that's impacting. So I think it works both ways there. Chelsea, someone who is unapologetically herself is Meg the Stallion, who you guys interviewed and painted with. So what did you learn from Meg, and what are you unapologetic about?
Truly what struck me, Brittany, about Megan is just how much she refuses to concede her joy. That she is, yes, unapologetically herself. She is unapologetically herself as an artist, as an activist, and what she hopes to do kind of with reforming healthcare and kind of the dignity of life for older people in her home community. And also that she just has refused to have her joy taken from her by the people who want to tear her down, who don't like the fact that she just refuses to be anything but herself in all settings. And that really struck me, because I think sometimes we think, particularly as women, that we have to dampen our joy, that somehow our joy is what is actually most threatening. And so to just see her be so joyful and listen to that joy in the hours we spent with her, it's like, oh wow, I need to remember to find my joy too.
It was so great to meet both of you. I want to thank you for joining us today and remind everyone out there that they can watch Gutsy on Apple TV+.